Yasu Malagido. Welcome to the Malaka podcast. Steve Carell.
Wow, that is really hard. You really think you can go all day long? Well, you always left me satisfied and smiling, so. That's what she said! Come on! Serious. Come on!
I, I could watch that forever. I mean, like even as I'm recording this, I watched it like 5 times. I don't give a shit. What's great about what's great about that is like Jim is just trying hard to get him to say that's what she said. Like after he gets him to say it, Jim gives the fist pump up like yeah I did it, and Packer in the background's like yeah good one, and like even Michael Scott just gives a mwah after. Like just you couldn't have picked a better guy to play this role. It is he does it absolutely positively perfect. And Steve Carell is just a funny guy. I mean, obviously, he will absolutely be best known for The Office for sure. I mean, you could debate that or 40-Year-Old Virgin, but to me, it's The Office for sure. Just the impact it had on the TV culture. And yeah, I just went through the series. We'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, Steve Carell is awesome. Very funny guy. Nice guy, too. You know, so I figure it's about time I do a podcast about him. But I wanted to go through the Office series first, which during COVID, a lot of people have done. It's either that or basically Sopranos. I'm doing both, so fuck it. But yeah, he's a really funny guy. So, if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. And as always, I like to go to Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, to help me out. And let's see what Steve Carell is all about. And of course, we have to know what the first letter of the alphabet is. Steve?
A, that's what she said.
And the fun never stops. Stephen John Carell, born August 16th, 1962, is an American actor, comedian, writer, producer, and director. He played Michael Scott in The Office 2005 to 2013, NBC's adaptation of the British series created by Stephen Merchant and Ricky Gervais, where Carell also worked as an occasional producer, writer, and director. Carell has received numerous accolades for his performances in both film and television, including the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Television Series, Musical, or Comedy for his work on The Office. He was recognized as America's Funniest Man by Life magazine. It's true. At the time, he was killing it. Still is in many ways, but yeah, he was by far the funniest guy on television or in a musical, which again, musical comedy, I'll never understand why they combine those two things together. But yeah, at the time, this guy was it. Carell gained recognition as a correspondent on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart from 1999 to 2005. He went on to star in several comedy films, including Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, and its 2013 sequel, as well as The 40-Year-Old Virgin, 2005, Evan Almighty, Get Smart, Date Night, Crazy Stupid Love, and The Way, Way Back. He also voiced acted in Over the Hedge, Horton Hears a Who, and the Despicable Me franchise, 2010 to present.
That's what she said. Huh?
My mother's coming.
That's what she said.
Carell began to shift into more dramatic roles in the 2010s with his role as wrestling coach and convicted murderer John L. Luther DuPont, close enough, in the drama film Foxcatcher, earning him, among various honors, nominations for the Academy Award for Best Actor, the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Motion Picture Drama, and the BAFTA Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role. He also received acclaim for his starring roles in Little Miss Sunshine, The Big Short.
That's what she said. Ha. I don't get it.
I got it. And Battle of the Sexes, the latter two earning him his 8th and 9th Golden Globe Award nominations, respectively. In 2018, he reteamed with Anchorman and The Big Short director Adam McKay for the Dick Cheney
You already did me.
That's what she said.
biographical film Vice, in which he portrayed Donald Rumsfeld and played journalist David Sheaf in the drama film Beautiful Boy. Carell returned to television as the co-creator of the TBS comedy series Angie Tribeca, which he developed with his wife, Nancy Carell. He received critical acclaim for his starring role as Mitch Kessler in the Apple TV Plus drama series The Morning Show, for which he received a nomination for the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series.
Can you make that straighter? That's what she said.
He also returned to comedy with the lead role of General Mark R. Nard in the Netflix sitcom Space Force.
I need 2 men on this. That's what she said. No time. What she did. No time.
So, Steve Carell has had a hell of a career so far. But of course, there's more to the man than just a 4-word catchphrase. So, because of Hollywood Insider, I was able to find some facts. So let's go from there and let's see how deep we can really get into this.
That's what she said?
Come on. Grow up. Humble beginnings in Concord, MA. Steve Carell was the youngest of 4 kids. His father was an electrical engineer and his mother was a psychiatric nurse. So, Steve definitely followed in his mom's and dad's footsteps. His ancestral surname was Carsocelli, but it was later shortened to Carell. Why would you want to shorten something that's already big?
That's what she said. Or he said.
He showed musical promise growing up. Carell played the fife growing up, whatever that means. A fife, oh, here we go, is a small, I should have done the proofread, woodwind instrument, that bears a resemblance to the piccolo. Carell didn't fall far from the family tree because the entire family played instruments. They played together as a family and they blew really hard.
That's what she said. That's what who said. I never know. Let me just say it. I say stuff like that, to lighten the tension when things sort of get hard. That's what she said. Hey, nice.
Steve Carell has always handled the paper. He was a mailman in Massachusetts. Before Carell got his big break, he was a mail carrier in the small town of Littleton, Massachusetts. I know I didn't say that right, but he didn't get a company truck to deliver mail in. So Steve was riding around town visiting mailboxes in his own Toyota. He would write special letters to kids who put letters to Santa in the mailbox, ensuring them that their letter was delivered by special reindeer carriers. And Carell officially wins the award for sweetest mail carrier south of the North Pole. The North Pole.
It squeaks when you bang it. That's what she said.
Carell attended Denison University in Ohio. There he joined the school's improv group called Burpee's Seedy Theatrical Company. Which continues the tradition of college improv groups having the weirdest names. See Harvard's Hasty Pudding or Yale's perhaps a bit pretentiously named Lux Improvitans. In 1996, Carell began his acting career on The Dana Carvey Show. It was a short-lived sketch show, only staying on air for 1 year. Here, he met a good friend and occasional career partner, Stephen Colbert, who Steve went on to work on The Daily Show with. Good connections will get you money. Steve was a shining star on The Dana Carvey Show. His most famous sketch was performed with Stephen Colbert. He acted as a waiter nauseated by food, and Colbert played the patron of the restaurant Carell's character worked at. It's no secret that Carell is an amazing voice actor. Carell voiced the character Gary from the SNL sketch The Ambiguously Gay Duo. The animated comedy sketch was originally part of the Dana Carvey Show before moving to Saturday Night Live. I did not know that. I always just assumed it was part of Saturday Night Live. The Dana Carvey Show only lasted 8 episodes. The opening sketch of the show featured Dana Carvey as Bill Clinton. Oh boy. Where he, how to put this, nursed puppies and a kitten the way only a mother could, with his man boobs. Got milk?
That's what she said. Excuse me? That's what she said.
Fans immediately tuned out and viewership never recovered. That's bullshit. I mean, first of all, that show was fucking hilarious. I remember watching an episode or two. Again, didn't last long, but really funny. If, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never seen a man do that before on television, then I just, you're stupid. In 1999, Stephen Colbert was cast as a correspondent on The Daily Show. And what do you know? Carell was knighted as a Daily Show correspondent slightly after. The two men were fortunate enough to work under one of the best late-night hosts ever, Jon Stewart. We miss you, man. I mean, Comedy Central, come on, man. Just cough up the money. Like, what was he making? 20 mil? Yeah, I mean, you couldn't bump it up to 25, 30? I mean, come on. Now we're stuck with a lot of shit now. Carell and Colbert joined The Daily Show at a historic time. The race between Al Gore and George Bush was everything but a smooth sail for the U.S. The Daily Show's famed coverage of the election was dubbed Indecision 2000. Yeah, it was a crazy time. For some people, living in America, especially people that lived in Florida, nobody could vote for some reason. They couldn't figure it out. Then people couldn't count the votes for some reason. So yeah, this show absolutely cashed in on it. And, before Stephen Colbert got a show, after he was on Whose Lines It Anyway, Steve Carell was on there as well. These guys were killing it. So great show. I mean, Comedy Central, come on, just, make John an offer he can't refuse. He's not doing anything now. He's just relaxing. Come on. Let's cough it up. Ed Helms became a correspondent on The Daily Show in 2003. The name might sound familiar, no shit, to fans of The Office. So, of course, again, all the stars are in line here, guys. They all work together later on. We all know Ed Helms, Hangover, The Office. I heard a rumor for a while that he was going to revamp the Naked Gun series, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Who knows? With COVID, I mean, who fuck knows, whenever something is coming out. But anyways, yeah. So, there's a reason why all these guys work so well together over the years, because they had a chance to work with each other, and, it was meant to be, man. Meant to be. Jon Stewart almost left The Daily Show. What? The Daily Show after he began hosting it. In an interview with Stephen Colbert, Stewart said there were creative differences between him, the writing staff, and producers of the show. So thank God everybody got together and said, hey, you know what? If Comedy Central can cough up some money for Dave Chappelle, why can't they do it for us? So everything worked out. It's okay. It's all good. Everything's fine. But later on, as it says here, thank God for Ricky Gervais making an awesome show, because we all know that the British version of The Office is very good as well. But obviously, that's where The Office started. And that's where, pretty much half of the American shows start off from Britain, go overseas to the United States, and start there. And that's where Steve Carell got his big break. And Steve Carell's wife also showed up on The Office as Michael's realtor. Also, if you remember when The Office first started, 4-Year-Old Virgin came out. She was also in that. She played the guidance sex counselor as well.
Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it?
Is that a serious question?
No, it wasn't.
I always like that. Anyways, today we consider The Office a modern classic, but the entire cast and crew were worried they were on thin ice during the first season. That's true, because when the first season came out, I think it was during a summer, only aired 6 episodes, which is ironic because it's borrowing from a British show that already existed. And every time a British show, for the most part, has 1 season, 2 seasons, it's only 6 episodes. That's it. Fawlty Towers had 1 season. It was in 75, 6 episodes. 4 years later, another one, which John Cleese didn't want to do, another 6 episodes. Boom, that's it. Classic show. I mean, you don't need to laugh forever for 9, 10, 11 seasons. I mean, sometimes you do with The Office, but anyways, the point is, when the 4-Year-Old Virgin came out, just around that time, they were like, okay, you know what? Huge hit, made over $100 million, so they're going to continue the show. So there you go. No problem there.
Oscar, would you reach over and touch his thing? That's what he said, right, guys, because of gay?
Well, good luck telling that joke today. But he almost didn't tell that joke because he was almost not Michael Scott. Originally, they wanted another Italian who didn't change his name, an actor known as Paul Giamatti. Yeah, it's very true. It says also here John Krasinski, who we now know as the mischief maker with the heart of gold, Jim Halpert, originally was called into audition for the role of Dwight, which is ironic because there was one episode where he makes fun of Dwight, he dresses up like him, he gets the get-up for $7 or $13, some shit like that. And also says here, once he read the script, he realized he would be better suited as Jim, and he begged casting directors to let him try for his now iconic part. In addition, comedian Jim Gaffigan auditioned for Dwight. Harold and Kumar actor John Cho auditioned for Jim, and yes, Seth Rogen was another Dwight contender. Now, you can go on YouTube, you can check out these auditions, but let's just be honest. The guy who plays Dwight, I mean, can you picture anybody else but him doing it? Even watching that audition, as soon as he did it, he looked in the camera, he did the voice, you knew it was him. Some things are just meant to be.
I never recommended you because I didn't want to lose you. I didn't want to lose Pam. But no, I don't want to lose the baby.
So instead you screwed me?
That's what she said.
No.
No. Steve Carell supported the writer's strike, and he didn't cross the picket line. So that's something to remember. Also, Steve Carell didn't study much once he took the role of Michael. He watched a little bit of the UK version of The Office, but he didn't want to rip off Gervais. So that's good too. Also, what's really cool is when Steve Carell left the show, first off, his last two words were "Goodbye, Michael" to Pam when he was at the airport with her. And usually when you have a crew, you know, you write down everyone's names, you know, number one, number two, all that. Nobody took the place of number one because they loved him that much, and they always left number one blank. They always just started at two and went from there because that's how much respect they had for Steve Carell. And that says a lot, man. I mean, you know, it was big shoes to fill. They tried to fill that spot after, but yeah, you couldn't do it. I mean, you know, he was too good in that role, you know. But obviously, this isn't the first role he's ever done in his life. So if you allow me, which I don't know why you wouldn't, I'm going to go to IMDb right now. Why? Because fuck Rotten Tomatoes. And let's see where Steve Carell started his career. Now, it says here in 1991, that's when Steve Carell got his first actual acting gig in the movie Curly Sue. He played a character named Tessio. It says in brackets as Steve Carell, so maybe his real name was the alias. I don't know. I actually remember this movie. It's a John Hughes movie. I remember my mom actually rented it for me. We watched it together. I told my mom, Mom, I love you, but next time we're watching The Breakfast Club. But, I mean, this movie was okay. It wasn't anything, you know, whatever. It was all right. But, got the ball rolling for Steve Carell. So, there you go. I like James Belushi. He's a good dude. I liked the show he was on, too. I thought that was funny. The next thing he did, also in 1991, was a thing called Life as We Know It, a TV movie as Steve Carell. Again, they just couldn't give him a name. I don't know. They just, stuck with the real one, I guess. Then in 1994, he did a thing called The Second City's 149.5 Edition. Well, obviously, I went to Second City. I took some classes there. Really good time. Again, like when I went there, I found out like a lot of people that I grew up loving from comedy. I mean, a lot of people I already went to Second City, but a lot of people I just didn't. And one of the guys was Steve Carell. I saw a young picture of him on there. I mean, they got tons of pictures there. Like, that's what's cool, like walking the hallways and they blow up all these old pictures of these guys and girls on stage. And it's awesome just looking at it. You know, it's every time you go in there, it's like a comedy museum. And I saw young Steve Carell there. And I found out he went there, not the one in Toronto, I believe he went to the one in Chicago for 8 years. And I believe at one point he became a teacher, and that's how he met his wife. She was one of the students there. Don't worry, they're around the same age. Don't worry, relax, guys. No jokes. And but yeah, I mean, I found that out. I thought that was really cool. So, I mean, imagine having Steve Carell as your teacher. So that's pretty awesome. But I never heard of this. 6 out of 10. You know, what are you going to do? Yeah, I mean, things like this, I mean, I don't know if you can find them. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's on YouTube. Who knows? But anything Second City, I mean, it's got to be funny. So there you go. He was in an episode of All My Children. He played a character named Squidhead. That's right, Squidhead as Stephen J. Carell. There you go. So I'm assuming he was a bad guy. Like I mentioned before, he was in the short-lived series, The Dana Carvey Show. I remember this. I remember flipping the channels one day, and I remember watching. I'm pretty sure it was that scene that they were talking about that he was famous for, like in the restaurant there. And I thought it was funny. I mean, again, this is one of these shows, like this show, the Ben Stiller show. You know, they didn't last long, but they were funny. They just didn't have the audience. You know, I mean, I don't know. The '90s, they'd come up with like stupid ideas for shows, and I don't know, they would just either last for a long time or not. And I don't know, this is one of the shows that just fell through the cracks, but people remember it. I mean, you look back now at the cast, I mean, who's got the last laugh now, right? But yeah, I remember it being pretty funny, so I'm going to see if I can find this show one day and go from there and reminisce. Then he was on another show called Over the Top, where he played Yorgo Galfinikos. I mean, do I even have to mention the origin of this character? No. Over the Top. I never heard of this show. I remember there was one episode too that in The Office, Steve Carell played like a Greek guy, and for some reason he just I don't know, like he sounded like he had laryngitis, and but it was funny. Like he had the button. Because like all the chest hair that we have, like we have to let our chest just breathe out, so that's why we undo like 4 buttons on our blue big collar shirt. And let's see what we got here. We got Tim Curry, Annie Potts. This show kind of looks familiar. I don't know, maybe okay, so he played a Greek guy in this. Wow. Okay, so I just found a picture. I mean, you got if you go on IMDb, they usually show like 4 pictures, what represents the show, whatever. I gotta, you know what, guys? I'm gonna pause this for a second. I want to see if I can find a clip, because like he's in like they just give him like a goatee, and they put the hair down. The hair looks a little greasy there. He's in the chef uniform there. I'm gonna see what I can find here.
I'm your host, Yago! Welcome to you live from the Metropolitan Hotel in the heart of the Big Apple. Let's get things started with the dance craze that's sweeping my native country of Panopius. The twist! Let's kick it!
All right, stop. What the fuck am I watching here? Okay, first of all, let me just point out that this show was in, the mid-90s, right? Okay, so I totally forgot how cool it was to wear a long sleeve shirt, and then on top of that, wear a t-shirt. So, second, like, what, like, where did he say he was from? Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, I understand what the fuck he was saying. I mean, so, yeah, I guess that makes him Greek. But, nice touch, by the way, putting a backwards blue hat on. Okay, so basically, if you wear anything blue, you're just automatically Greek. So that's, I mean, like, what the fuck? Again, guys, like, this is the 90s. Like, people just made up shit and just people believed it. It's not like, people can complain online now or just research this shit. I mean, they just assumed like every Greek had facial hair and wore shorts past their knees, and I don't know, maybe the pants shrunk in the wash. Who knows? Fuck, but I mean, come on, man. Like, I do like the character more now on The Office. He did than this one. I mean. Whatever. So I'm watching another scene. No, not whatever. I got to keep going with this. Okay, so again, the stereotype that all Greek people yell goodbye and hello, and everything in between. That's a good way to keep it going. Again, he sounds more like Yugoslavian. I don't know. Okay, the dark hair. I get it. He's got the eyebrows done. Absolutely, the eyebrows are just as thick as the goatee. So that he absolutely nailed when it came to the Greek culture. But like what? Come on, man. Like I'm just bugging him. But seriously, this is way before my fat Greek wedding. So it's the blue cups. I noticed that. That's again nice touch. Everything just blue and white. Just to remind people that if you forget that this is some kind of hello, we've had some wonderful quality time together. 1, 2, 3. What the fuck is going on? First of all, you never see. Well, actually, no. Actually, you know what? That is actually a good point. Like I was gonna make a point saying that the Greek cook is never behind the counter in the front. But yeah, like if you hire a Greek guy, he's just gonna go all over the fucking place. So it doesn't even matter. Yorgo, that's a real original name, guys. Thanks. Oh, Jesus Christ. So yeah, again, guys, this is the 90s. I'm just breaking balls here. But yeah, this is, I don't know. This is pretty funny. I mean, it's stupid, but it's accurate at the same time. So I don't know what to do here. I mean, this is the first time I'm watching this. So yeah, fuck it. I don't know. If you got a chance, check it out. Anything Tim Curry is good. Any Potts, I'll love forever for Ghostbusters. One of the kids, the daughter, I think she was the same woman that was in, what was it, the Dude, Where's My Car? She wasn't the Jennifer Gardner one, she was the other one, yeah, so there you go, have fun. Opa! And then he was in something else called Tomorrow Night, Mailroom Guy Without Glasses. Oh, that's a disaster for trouble. Written by Louis C.K. Yeah, we know what happened, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, yeah, I still say the Louis show, on Fox FX, it was fucking great. Can you say that out loud anymore? I don't know. Did I just do it without knowing, and I'm just recording this anyway? It is what it is. So, yeah, Steve Carell was in that. Homegrown, party extra with funny pants, uncredited. I don't know what funny pants look like. 3 marijuana farm hands see their boss killed, ending their peaceful existence in NW, California, which I assume stands for North Weed. They decide to harvest, process, and sell the crop themselves. Crime bosses, corrupt cops, killer plot, greed, etc. ensue. Why have I never heard of this movie? I don't know, it doesn't sound that bad, actually. Well, you got Billy Bob Thornton, Hank Azaria, Kelly Lynch, Ryan Felipe, John Bon Jovi. Yeah, sure, why not? John Lithgow, Judge Reinhold, Jamie Lee Curtis, wait, Jake Gyllenhaal. Wait. Why have I never heard of this movie? I mean, it's got a pretty bad rating, 5.8 out of 10, but okay, I'm definitely watching this sometime this weekend, for sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. He was in an episode of Just Shoot Me. Very funny show. Very underrated comedy. I always like that one. He was in Suits. I don't think this is the TV show. No, it's an actual movie called Suits. Yeah. Yeah, I never saw that one. Strangers with Candy. It's a TV series. Yeah. Oh, I remember the show. Yeah. She's funny, man. What's her name again? Amy Sedaris. Very funny. Very, very funny woman. Yeah, I remember watching a couple episodes of these. Yeah, so Steve Carell was in one episode of that. HUD. Paul Newman? No. Was a TV movie. It's not based on that one, is it? No, it can't be. No, it's not. It's something completely different. About the secret uncover crime fighting work of the Department of Housing and Urban Development. You absolutely would not know that by the movie poster. It kind of looks like Tron 2, but all right. Outlaw Golf, a video game voiced. He was the commentator, Steve Carell. Okay. Yeah, why not? Okay. Like I said, guys, you do voiceover work, easy money. He was in a short called Street of Pain. Then, in 2003, he was in a little movie called Bruce Almighty. Now, I already did a podcast about Jim Carrey. I did a podcast on Jennifer Aniston. So you knew the next one was going to be Steve Carell, of course. But he played a character named Evan Baxter, once again as Stephen Carell. I don't know why they keep putting that here. Anyways, let me just say this. So at the time, I remember, yeah, like I said before, Steve Carell, he was the correspondent on the Jon Stewart show, and that's, where I started, recognizing him a little bit. And then he was in this movie. And you got to give him props on this one because he absolutely killed it. I mean, the one scene where Jim Carrey is just, doing this thing. The whole point is they both play reporters. Steve Carell is a little bit more above him, makes fun of him. Then, Jim Carrey somehow becomes God. Something to do with Morgan Freeman, I forgot. And he's in the background there while Steve Carell's on, live television there. He's, Jim Carrey's just doing his thing. He's like typing air. And he's basically making Steve Carell say all this stupid shit. And like I said, this is all Steve Carell saying it. I mean, Jim Carrey's obviously doing this shit in the background, but everything that Steve Carell's saying, it's all him. So it's very rare you see an actor outdo someone in a scene, especially with Jim Carrey in a Jim Carrey movie. So, this was the start of something for sure with Steve Carell, because probably people after this were like, who the fuck's this guy? We got to get him in more shit. And, this is definitely a good launching pad for him.
Evan Baxter, and here's what's making news. A potential scandal with the Buffalo PD surfaced today when the mayor demanded the as a response to allegations.
Somebody get him some water, please.
That looks like my new coworker may need a glass of water.
Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. In other news, the Prime Minister of Sweden visited Washington today, and my tiny little nipples went to France.
What did he just say?
Check the prompter.
Prompt is fine. Evan, read the copy, please. The copy's good. Just read it.
The White House Reception Committee greeted the Prime Rib Roast Minister, and I do the cha-cha like a sissy girl. I like a do the cha-cha. I'm sorry, we seem to be having some technical difficulties. In other news, my apologies.
Want to see Michael smile? Cockapoo. I love it. But yeah, that was a great scene, man. I mean, he basically stole that moment from Jim Carrey. No disrespect to Jim, but yeah, he absolutely killed it in that movie. So, and then he did something else with that character a couple of years later, and we'll get into that in a bit. Then he did a TV series called Watching Ellie, which this is one of the Julia Louis-Dreyfus shows. Yeah, she had like I mean, before she did Veep, I mean, she did like a couple, right? Like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 or something. Yeah, it took a while to get the ball rolling on that one, but yeah, you know, it worked out. I'd say so. Then he did more voiceover work for a video game. Why not? Outlaw volleyball, you know, outlaw golf, outlaw volleyball. Fuck it. Then he did a TV movie, The Lunchbox Chronicles. Then a TV show called Fillmore, which sounds familiar. Oh, it's a cartoon. I think I'm thinking of something else. No, I don't. A good rating though. I don't know. The only recent cartoon I watched in the last 20 years is Rick and Morty. I don't know. Nothing beats the Flintstones. Then he did a music video, a little thing called Anchorman Afternoon Delight, which is a beautiful song. And then he did Come to Papa. What's this? Hold on. He did a show with John Sally. Okay. Yeah, 3.1 out of 10. Wow. They gave him a haircut. Remember when Jerry Seinfeld got that like really shitty haircut? He looked like he was 5 years old. Yeah, it's the same kind of haircut. And I don't know. I've always heard like John Sally literally has the biggest dick any human being, or I'm assuming woman, has, to be more accurate, assuming any white woman has ever seen in her life.
That's what she said.
Thank you very much, Kevin Hart. And then in 2004, you have one of my favorite comedies of all time. And it's a little known movie called Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. I completely forgot if I did a podcast about Will Ferrell. I don't think I have yet, but when I do, I will go into greater detail about this movie. But we're not here to talk about the great Will Ferrell, one of the funniest men that has ever been cast on Saturday Night Live. And you can honestly say, and I thought about this one day, he might be one of the funniest guys, or if not the funniest guy in the 2000s. Think about it. But we're here to talk about Steve Carell and his slightly under IQ'd person that he plays in Anchorman, named Brick Tamland. Now, again, at this time, saw him on the Jon Stewart Show, saw him in Bruce Almighty. So far, so good. Then all of a sudden, he gets cast as this. Probably out of the main 4 guys here, he's probably the guy I least knew about. But holy shit, did he kill it! I mean, he almost did with the weapon he brought to the fight.
Rick, where'd you get a hand grenade? I don't know.
Why the fuck does he have a hand grenade? I mean, this is the only actor I've seen, ladies and gentlemen, that mistakes pink fiberglass foam for cotton candy. And what's this about the pants party?
It's very distracting. All right, so when we get to the pet shop.
No! Look over here. Excuse me, Veronica.
Yes, what is it, Brick?
I would like to extend to you an invitation to the pants party.
Excuse me?
The party. The pants with pants. Party with pants.
Brick, are you saying that there's a party in your pants and that I'm invited?
That's it.
Did Brian tell you to say this, Brick?
Yes, he did.
Okay. No, I don't want to go to a party in your pants.
Very well. Ian, would you like to party in my pants?
No, Brick.
All right, let's go.
All right.
All right, I'm all right.
I mean, I could do this all day. But anyways, you get the gist. His character's just a little off. But then again, what do you expect from a man who has an IQ of 48 and is considered legally, well, it's a word I can't say anymore, but I'll get into that in another podcast. The point is, his character was fucking hilarious in this. A great new addition to the whole crew here. I'm just saying. I mean, you couldn't pick a better guy to play this guy. Again, this is when his stock just keeps rising, and people finally start to realize how funny this guy really is. So, highly recommend Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy. And I love this movie so much that I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought I dressed up as Ron Burgundy, but I actually dressed up as Robert Goulet for Halloween, and then people thought I was Ron Burgundy. So either way, it worked. But this is a awesome movie, one of the funniest movies of all time for sure. Then he was in a movie called Sleep Over. He played a character named Sherman. Never heard of this one. Melinda and Melinda. Never heard of this movie either. No, it's got Will Ferrell's in this too. I don't know. I've never heard of this one. Then he did Wake Up Ron Burgundy. Okay, so let me explain this. This is as far as I know. So basically what happened was, the movie came out, Ron Burgundy, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. We all know that. Anchorman. Awesome movie, like I just mentioned 10 seconds ago. I think the story is that when they, originally I bought the DVD, it came with this bonus movie. What happened was, originally when they made Anchorman, I think this movie, this version, Wake Up Ron Burgundy, was supposed to be the first cut of Anchorman. And apparently it tested really poorly. A lot of people just walked out of this movie during the test screening. And, they had all this, bonus footage. I mean, they didn't know what to do with it. They don't want to throw it away, obviously. And keep in mind, this is the peak of DVDs when everything was just being transferred from VHS to DVD. I mean, if you're a millennial, I'll explain what a DVD is later. And, you'll be blown away what a VHS is. If you've ever seen like a brick with film in it, the point is, they didn't know what to do with this movie, so they just threw it in there, as a bonus, and that's it. So, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not good. I mean, there's a couple little parts in there, okay, but I mean, you could see. I mean, they redid the movie. It was a different story, so yeah. It is what it is. But thank God we got the the second version, which is Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy. So thank you. He was in Bewitched, which is obviously a remake of the TV show. I'm gonna be honest with you, I never saw this movie. I didn't hear good things. 4.8 out of 10, so I wasn't the only one. I didn't even know Steve Carell was in this. So yeah. And then it's still 2005. And despite Bewitched being out there, another great comedy came out called The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Now, this movie basically came out of nowhere in the sense where, Judd Apatow, like, we knew of his work before, with Larry Sanders and working with Adam Sandler, like all that stuff, So he already proved himself he was a funny guy. And he wrote the movie with Steve Carell, which apparently he had to, like, kind of force Steve Carell to always, like, be motivated and keep writing this. It'll pay off. And, if Judd Apatow is on your side, man, be thankful. That guy's awesome. He's like kind of like the next generation's John Hughes in a sense. And, these two guys created an awesome comedy. Great cast of people. You got Seth Rogen in there who, again, I mean, it's basically the first time I ever saw Seth Rogen. I don't know, apparently he showed up in, like, Dawson's Creek and shit, and I don't know, whatever. But and he did write for the second season of the Ali G show, so you gotta give him props on that. But yeah, I never really heard of him like before this. And Paul Rudd, you saw here and there. I just talked about Brittany Murphy, and seen Paul Rudd for the first time in Clueless. Romany Malco, who I knew from The Weeds. Catherine Keener, being John Malkovich. Elizabeth Banks, she was fairly new as well. Jane Lynch, Leslie Mann, who's married to Judd Apatow. I remember her in Big Daddy. Jerry Bednob, who it's always funny with that guy because I remember him being one of the guys that was in working in the I don't know, whatever, the made up 7-Eleven in Encino Man. No, squeezing the juice. Yeah, but. Yeah, I mean, this is a really funny cast of people. Jonah Hill's got a scene in there. Kat Dennings is in here. Mo Collins, Mindy Kaling. Yeah, I mean, this got the ball rolling for a lot of people here. A really funny movie. Definitely one of the funniest comedies of the thousands, for sure, if not of all time. Just everything came together on this. So, basically the whole point of this is, what does it say here? Goated by his buddies. Goated. That's a word you don't see every day. A nerdy guy who never done the deed, which is, fucking, only finds the pressure mounting when he meets a single mother, What's great about this movie is that it's really funny, but at the same time, it's got heart, I'm not just saying that as a joke. I mean, a little bit, but it does. Like, it's got, like, a sweetness to it. I mean, like, here's a dude that just, I never thought about getting laid, I guess. I don't know. Judging by his apartment, you can tell. And, you know what? As I say that, I'm actually looking at my apartment, and I am not one to judge. But the point is, there's a very, sweetness to it. Like I said with this movie, the acting between Steve Carell and Kinnear is very good, Great supporting cast. I mean, it's just a great movie, honestly. I mean, it's one of those movies I've seen multiple times. I don't know, I got the unrated version, I don't know if that makes a difference. I'm sure it does. But, yeah, this is just a great movie. And, this, I mean, the stuff I said before about Steve Carell, Bruce Almighty, Anchorman, this one clinched him, And then a combination of this and something else, which I'm going to talk about in about 20 seconds, pretty much launched his career. So whenever you have a chance, check out this show. It's actually a movie. Sorry, I'm tired. It's the second podcast today. But yeah, check out this movie. It's really funny. You'll love it. It could be a good date movie, something you watch when you smoke one, whatever. Just enjoy yourself, have fun. You'll love it, I promise. So, because of the success of this movie, okay, like I mentioned before, he's doing a little show. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, only lasted for 6 episodes the first season. And because of the success of that movie, and by the way, that grossed over $100 million. So for a comedy to make $100 million, that is awesome. Because, for the most part, comedies, you got a decent one. It could be 20, 30, 40 million. It depends on your budget. I mean, that's phenomenal. But because of the success of that, they said to themselves, not only are we going to make one season of The Office, which we already did, but because the 40-Year-Old Virgin, people love Steve Carell so much now, we're going to make a second season. And they, of course, that show is The Office. And this show is definitely one of the funniest sitcoms of all time. NBC has had a good reputation of keeping it up, when it comes to the comedy world. Obviously they gave us Seinfeld for years, and it's funny actually, that lasted 9 seasons too. Same thing with The Office. Yeah, there you go. So they know what they're doing, guys, when it comes to comedies. And the casting for this show was excellent. I mean, obviously you got Steve Carell playing Michael Scott. I mentioned before they wanted Paul Giamatti. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I love Paul Giamatti, but I mean, you see Stevie do this in this role, and nobody could do it better. It's just funny though, like the first season, like his character came across as more like, I don't know, not so much psychotic, but just more a little angry, I guess. I don't know. He's like, he even had a different look. Like his hair was more slicked back, his eyes were very dark, and I don't know, he seemed kind of a little bit more creepy. But then you could see in the second season they were like, okay, let's lighten him up a bit, let's make him more of a doofus, whatever, and just go with that. And you got Jenna Fisher as Pam, you got John Krasinski as Jim, Rainn Wilson, who again, that was just perfect casting. I mean, watch the audition tape on YouTube of him. After you see that, you're like, that's the guy. As Dwight, Leslie David Baker as Stanley, Brian Baumgartner, I wonder if he's related to the hockey player, as Kevin, Angela Kinsky as Angela. If you guys are seeing a theme here, a lot of people were named after their real names in real life, as opposed to fake life. Kate Flannery as Meredith, Phyllis Smith as Phyllis, Creed Branton as Creed, one of my faves. Oscar Nunez as Oscar, Mindy Kaling, who wrote a lot of episodes, by the way, as Kelly, BJ Novak as Ryan, Ed Helms as Andy, Paul Lieberstein as Toby, which again, I want to say this guy was so well cast, because he just looks like the most miserable prick in The Office. I don't know why Michael hated him so much. I just, maybe he was jealous, because he was more liked. I don't know. Was he more liked? I don't know. Who knows? Craig Robinson as Daryl, Ellie Kemper as Aaron, Zach Woods as Gabe Lewis. It just phenomenal cast, guys. I mean, it just like that's you can have the best writers in the world for a comedy, but if you don't have the actors that pull it off, it's just going to be shit anyway. You know what I mean? So what I like to do with this, instead of just, I mean, originally I was thinking about doing an Office podcast. So many people do those. I'd rather just do one with Steve Carell. Not that I'm ignoring everyone else in here, but it would just take way too long, and I'm way too lazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the best episode of each season. Now, realistically, it probably revolves more around the Steve Carell character, so just keep that in mind. So here we go. Now, in the first season, my favorite episode is episode 2, called Diversity Day. Now, let me just explain something first. This show came out in 2005. So what's even funny about even watching this show now, like 15, 16 years later, is like one thing I've learned, because of cancel culture and, PC, I don't know, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's okay to watch this show in 2021 because it was made in 2005. But if you did this shit today, especially what they did in this episode, this show would have gone 2 episodes, tops. So, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I just want to point that out, that the PC culture has absolutely killed comedy. It's like I said, the movies have kind of gone down, TV shows have gone way up, but comedy is just, I don't know, it's suffered because of this, and that's why we're going back right now to watch all these shows, because there's no real good comedies anymore. I mean, there's a couple, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's still a couple out there that are good, but again, they got to tiptoe around a lot of things. And an episode like this would never, ever, ever, ever be aired today. So the whole point of this is that Michael, gets everybody in the conference room, which in this whole show, I don't know how the fuck anything gets done. I mean, they have a party every 2 hours. Michael's always calling meetings. And yet they're still number one in their branch. So go figure. Again, it's TV, guys. I get it. I'm just making jokes here. I'm not stupid. I mean, well, the point is, so they go in the room here. And, they each got a card on them, they put on their heads. It's like that game, what the fuck's that game called? I don't know. You put the shit on your head and you're supposed to guess the person. There you go. So, they each putting a race, some people are Italian and Chinese, whatever. And the shit that, Steve does, or Michael Scott does to Kelly alone, I mean, forget it. I mean, that'd be like a red flag right there. I'm not going to act it out because I don't want to get in shit more than I have already. But, but again, it is a really funny episode, just the way it's done. And it really just gives you an idea how, I don't know, loosey-goosey, Mike is as a boss. And I would love to work for Dunder Mifflin anytime. Make some paper, make some calls, put some stuff in Jell-O, whatever. It doesn't matter, But this is a really funny episode. So if you're going to watch an episode from this season, I'd recommend this one. Now, season 2, I would absolutely recommend episode 12, called The Injury. Now, let me just say this, ladies and gentlemen. I know a lot of people love that Booze Cruise episode. And I admit, it is a very funny episode. But if we're talking what represents The Office and Michael Scott, it is absolutely The Injury. So how did he get this injury? Well, of course, like any other normal person, when they want to smell bacon waking up, they put the George Foreman grill next to their feet. And as soon as they step out of bed, they can smell the beautiful scent of bacon, which I made a podcast on. I love bacon, real bacon. None of that fake Canadian shit bacon, which is basically ham. We all know that. But he steps out of bed, steps right on it. He grills his foot because he's a Malakias. And, it's just funny. I don't want to give a lot of the episode away. Like Dwight at one point, gets into an injury. He becomes a nicer guy. Like I said before, he steals a line from Michael there, as I played it before. Those classic 4 words. This episode just is fucking hilarious. It's one of my favorite episodes of the series. So if you're gonna check out an episode from that, if you want to check out the Booze Cruise, that's cool. That's no worries there. But The Injury is absolutely my favorite. Season 3, my favorite episode is episode 10, A Benihana Christmas. Now again, this is another episode that is absolutely tap dancing on the racial line. Basically, Michael's in a rut because he just broke up with his girl, and they take him to Benihana's. He's starting to feel better. They bring some girls from Benihana's, the waitresses. And of course, Michael is so fucking out of it, he can't tell what waitress is into him and which one is not. Because it, the classic stereotype, all Chinese women look alike to white guys. It's just funny, how he tries to deal with it, and then fuck it. I'm gonna give a little spoiler alert here because it's one of those things. I'm gonna say it, and even to this day, I still can't believe I actually saw him do this. He finds out which one it is, and he takes a black marker And as he's talking to her, he kind of distracts her, and he puts a black line on her arm. So if she separates from him, like he can tell like which one it is. I mean, fuck, man. Like again, this is just it's fucking hilarious. Like you just gotta see it for yourself. But it's a really funny episode. So that's I mean that's the one I recommend for sure. In season 4, I would definitely have to recommend episode 13, which is titled Dinner Party. This is probably one of the best episodes of the series as well. I think a lot of people would agree with me on that. At this point, he's moved in with his girlfriend, the one that got the boob job there. And yeah, it's just, well, first of all, I mean, I like he has a TV on the wall, man. And again, I'm not making fun of, I'm the type of person that would nitpick at anybody's, financial status and, or like, how big of a TV you have. But I'm pretty sure like at this point, like even back then, like people had phones that were bigger than this TV. It's like this little, like remember the first laptops that came out in like whatever the like the mid-90s, they looked like, like little box suitcases, whatever, dun 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 dun. And they just argue back and forth, and you can tell like Jim and Pam don't want to be there, and I don't know, Dwight shows up with his babysitter. Who the fuck did he show up with? I don't know, some like babysitter or something, and it's just, I think a few other people were there, and it's just, oh my, it's just a fucking disaster. Like, I think we've all been in this position before where we go somewhere, even if it's a party, it could be like a small party, like 10 or 30 people. There's always that couple, that is just never happy. I mean, they're just fucking miserable. And I swear to you, like they argue in front of everybody. I've had parties where I've had those couples there. And someone had to go, it's like fucking, you gotta keep them separated, Offspring style, and it's fucking annoying, man. Like it really is. But at this point, you're invited to this person's house. They're just trying to get the fuck out. At one point, Jim even tries to make up a thing where his apartment's flooded. He has to get out of there, and they're just going at it back and forth, and it is just it's pretty funny, It's annoying, obviously, if it happens to you in real life, but this is definitely one of the funny episodes of the season or the series. So yeah, well, both actually, but yeah, definitely check that one out. Season 5. Once again, we're gonna have to go with lucky number 13, and it is called Stress Relief. Now, I don't know if anybody agrees with me out there, but this might be the best episode of the series, period. This episode is almost perfect. I mean, it's even longer. It's almost like 40 minutes. They did that with a lot of episodes. Like as the show went on, like a lot of the episodes became 2-parters, or they would just have like an hour special, whatever. To me, this is the best episode of the series by far. This is actually one of the funniest shows from a comedy series I've ever seen, period. I mean, it's excellent from beginning to end. Again, I'm not going to even give a lot away. I'm just going to say this. Like in the beginning, it starts off with Dwight making like a fake fire drill. Everybody goes nuts. That's funny right there. Then, of course, they fucked up. They bring in this woman who brought in some kind of fake, whatever, crash test dummy. I don't know. This is a ship I grew up with, guys. But whatever, one of those fake torso things that you practice, the I don't know, the breathing on, whatever. Again, I mean, this might be one of the funniest scenes in the series as well. Like this is just classic. Again, don't want to give a lot away there. And then later on, like throughout the episode, this like they're playing a movie within the show. that a couple of people were watching in the office there, involving Jack Black falling in love with a really older woman. Like I said, Jack Black is awesome. I did a podcast about him. He's fucking awesome. You know, it's Jack Black, man. One of the funniest people of all time. Then at the same time, they're practicing breathing exercises. He's holding a candle for some reason, Michael. You know, I mean, you really realize like how nuts this guy really is. And then at one point, like he just wants, you know, he loves all these like Comedy Central roasts, whatever, and all the roasts they did back in the day, and you know, Dean Martin and all that. And now you have a chance to roast him, and everybody roasts him on the staff there. They do it downstairs in the warehouse. That's fucking hilarious. Good little ending too. It involves the movie that they're watching. Again, like I said, I don't want to give a lot away in this episode because it's one of those episodes you just gotta watch. Just sit back for the next 40 minutes. I guarantee you'll laugh your ass off. It's just really funny. If you've never even watched an episode of The Office or you're not following it on a regular basis, like this episode is awesome. Honestly, I give this episode a 10 out of 10. I really can't think of anything better. Honestly, like, I mean, they did such a great job with this episode. It's like just everything, you know, came aligned and it just worked out absolutely perfect. So definitely recommend that episode. Now we're on to season 6, episode 9, Moving On. So I like this episode basically because, I mean, the whole point of this episode is, you know, they find out the branch may or may not be closing and everyone's acting all nutty, whatever, of course, big surprise. And of course, it's a perfect time for, you know, Michael Scott to, like, he whipped out this, like, I don't know, like, it's like a board game or something, but it's like back in the day. Remember when they had, like, Clue on VHS? And again, you know, I don't have time to explain what VHS is, but, yeah, you know, like, people just start playing different characters, and I don't know, like again, I love Steve Carell, don't get me wrong, but I'm seeing a pattern here with the Greek and all, you know, the Louisiana accents, and I get it's a show and he's probably doing this for a joke. I'm still not convinced that the Greek thing was a joke, but you know, like the whole accent thing is funny, and like everyone's just doing their own little character there, so it's almost like they're doing their own little play, and it's a very funny episode. It ends really funny too. I didn't expect it to end like that, but yeah, everybody got involved there, and it's a very good episode. So now we're on to season 7. So when a comedy has gone this far, you know it's pretty good. You know, once season 5, 6 hits, whatever, that syndication money starts coming in, actors keep getting paid. It's nice. You know, I'm not saying you're set for life, but there are worse things to do. So yeah, in season 7, I have to go with episode 17, Threat Level Midnight. So, if you watched the show up to this point, there's been a couple hints that Michael Scott, Steve Carell's character, has been writing a script, and it's taken him, I think more than a decade, and he finally finished it, and the whole episode is just, you know, them in the room, whatever, and just watching the movie. So you get to see a lot of characters that have come and go as the series has progressed. The special effects in this movie are just fucking phenomenal. It's just, I mean, the movie looks like it was made for like $40 or something, but I mean, you know, it's cool to see this. It really is. It's like that episode in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when they made like Lethal Weapon 5. It's kind of, it's like that, you know. So it's been a long time coming, and we actually get to finally see Michael Scott's movie. And I gotta say, it was pretty good. You know, hopefully one day they will make a sequel. You know, by 2043, and yeah, I'll be there. Season 8. Well, Steve Carell left, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said before, you know, it was kind of weird too, because like he left like at the end of season 7, but not right at the end of season 7. Like I think there were still like 4 or 5 episodes left, and I don't know. You really don't see that often. Usually when a character leaves, it's it's usually the end of the season. Especially a big character like Michael Scott. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. I mean, obviously I don't have a favorite episode from season 8 because I didn't watch a lot of it. I watched the first couple episodes, and it's I'm not saying it's hard to watch in the sense it's not funny, but it's a big hole, man. And they tried to fill it with what was it, the Spader there, and I just I love him. Don't get me wrong. He did a good movie with him and Robert Downey Jr. I forgot what it was in the '80s. I always liked it. But yeah, I just wasn't feeling it. Yeah, just I don't know. So. And then season 9 came, and it's the same thing basically. Still no Steve Carell, and they're like, okay, you know what? Let's end this series. Let's bring Steve Carell back. Let's bring him back for one more episode. And at least they made a good decision there. They're like, we got to at least close the series with him there. We can't. I mean, he was there in the beginning. We got to have him at the end. So I thought that was nice. Honestly, I was expecting a little bit more, I'm not gonna lie, but it was cool just to see him there. And of course, it was pretty much what we expected.
Michael, I can't believe you came. That's what you said. Best prank ever.
Now that was nice. Now my question is, and I've been trying to look this up, and I can't find it. Like at one point they said they were giving him like $300,000 an episode. How much did NBC pay him to say 4 words? Because that's basically what happened. He goes on there, he does that little scene there. Then you see him again for a couple seconds just dancing outside, and that's it. Like he didn't say anything after. So I'm thinking to myself, they must have gave him at least $1 million to show up, because at this point, like he was making pretty good money, in the movies. So think about it. I mean, he got $1 million, $250,000 to say 4 words. Now, again, do I have any proof of this? Absolutely not. But I'm just saying. I mean, how cool would that be? I'm just putting that out there. I mean, more than likely, they probably did. They wanted to end it on a good note, with him there. And that's it. So that's pretty much The Office, guys. Will they come back with a reunion show? Unless they get Michael Scott, don't even bother. So, yeah. And again, that's not any disrespect, against anybody else that was there. You could tell when he left the show, Ed Helms kind of took over as the new guy. And I like Ed Helms, don't get me wrong, but he's no Michael Scott. And you could tell they were playing off the success of him in The Hangover. They're like, listen, we got this guy now. Let's just, ride this, whatever. But it's big shoes to fill, man. So if they're ever going to do a reunion, you got to have Steve Carell in there for sure. Absolutely. Would I like to see more stuff packed in Jell-O? Absolutely. There's always room for Jell-O. Let's just forget who endorsed it for many years. The point is, I would love to see The Office come back. Yeah. Can't wait, man. Honestly. It's a really good show, and at least one good thing came out of COVID in the sense that we can catch up on all our shows, and remember what good comedies were. And again, like watching a lot of these episodes, they said a lot of things, a lot of whatever, that you cannot say today. And a lot of this was said like, let's say around 2010, 11, whatever. So like it wasn't that long ago, guys. You know what I mean? So, in the end, comedy's comedy. You know what I mean? I think we're just being too tight about a lot of the things that are said. I mean, even recently I heard that the Rolling Stones can't play Brown Sugar anymore, because I I always had a feeling it was about having sex with black women, but then I thought there was a chance that it was about heroin. So I was like, okay, either way, I guess they're not going to play it because they don't want to endorse drugs, because God forbid a rock group endorses drugs, Guys, have you listened to rap the last 10 fucking years? Jesus. Anyways, I don't know. It's the world we live in, guys. I don't know. There's more pussies than men. What can I tell you? But it is what it is. But, one great thing about this series is that nobody can take away that, ever since Wayne's World, or God only knows where the history of That's What She Said came from, in season 2, episode 2, that's when he made it official again. So, The Office, overall, excellent series. So, let's see what happens. Hopefully they bring it back one day, and they can create the same magic they did years ago. Now, going back to the movies, which I almost forgot we were doing. 2006, a little movie came out called Little Miss Sunshine. Great movie. Yeah, absolutely great movie. Great cast of people. I mean, obviously you got Steve Carell in there. You got Toni Collette, Greg Kinnear, Abigail Breslin, Paul Dano, Alan Arkin. Wasn't Bryan Cranston? Yeah, Bryan Cranston was in this for a little bit. I remember. Yeah, even Dean Norris. I don't know. They got all the people from right before Breaking Bad. Yeah, great little movie. A family determined to get their young daughter into the finals of a beauty pageant take a cross-country trip in their VW bus. Old school, man. I mean, let's be honest. There hasn't been a time where, at some part of any of our lives, we wanted to just get in a kick-ass hippie van like this and just go on some kind of adventure. So, good little cute movie, nothing spectacular. I mean, again, this is a perfect example of you don't need special effects, you don't need a green screen, you just need good actors, good script, boom, that's it. And Steve Carell played a really good role in this, kind of dark in the beginning there, I don't want to give a lot away what happened previously to his character. But, yeah, absolutely really good movie. It's got a rating of 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb. I think we can at least bump that up to an 8. I think it's a pretty good movie. So when you get the chance, check it out. American Storage, it's a short he did. Over the Hedge, he played Hammy. It's a voiceover. Hammy's Boomerang Adventure, video short. Just, like I said, just do the voiceover, man. The worst case, bread and butter. The Naked Trucker and T-Bone's Show. It's a TV series he did. And then we hit a little bit of a snag when it comes to Stevie's career. Evan Almighty. I'm not gonna lie to you. I watched a bit of this. I couldn't even get through it. I mean, yeah, it's first of all, they spent an incredible amount of money on this. I mean, this is obviously the sequel to Bruce Almighty. He does the whole what do you call it? The whole Noah's Ark thing. That's his mission in this movie. Yeah, I mean, so the budget was $175 million. Okay, all right. Let me repeat that: $175 million for a comedy. There's no comedy in history that's worth that. Like Animal House, Slapshot, Caddyshack, they were made for a few mil. Where the fuck the money went, who knows? And then the total worldwide gross was $174,440,724. Holy fucking shit. A lot of people probably got fired after this. I remember watching, it, and I'm like even for the time, it didn't look good. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, what the fuck, man? I don't know what I don't know what they were thinking, spending that much money for this movie. I really, I don't know. I always had this theory that there's like executives out there that feel guilty that they're making this much money, and then they have to make a shit movie just to like even out their life, you know, like and for all the bad shit they've done, and I don't, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, fuck, ugh. Anyways, then also in 2007, he made a movie called Dan in Real Life. Cute little movie. I liked it. You know, it's kind of like a, I wouldn't call it a rom-com, but you know, it's a cute little movie about a guy who, what does it say here? A widower finds out the mother he fell in love with is his brother's girlfriend. I mean, this has happened to all of us at one point, right? You know, we're introduced to somebody, we think they're single, and then of course they're going out with someone in the family. They're going out with one of our friends. You know, it's a huge fucking cock block, I tell you. You know, but I won't tell you how it ends. Judging by the movie poster, it is not about pancakes. I think they eat pancakes at one point, but it's not. Yeah, like I remember even in Family Guy they made fun of this poster. I don't get this either. What they're doing here, I don't know. It's a pre-Aunt Jemima thing. I don't know. The point is, cute little movie. You know, if you're with your girl or your mistress, you know, whatever floats your boat these days in COVID. You know, have some fun and watch this movie. You'll like it. Stories USA. He was played Mark, Segment, Street of Pain. Horton Hears a Who. He played the mayor. Again, you know, if you can get part of a good cartoon franchise, and go for it. Get Smart. Wasn't a big fan of this movie. I got to be honest. I don't know. Like, this is from the show Get Smart. You're not going to top that. Especially, I mean, when did that show come out? Like almost like 40, 50 years at that point. Like just, I don't know. I mean, growing up in the 90s, I mean, that's what they did. They brought back a bunch of Beverly Hillbillies, Sergeant Bilko, all this shit. And it's like, dude, why? You're not going to top the original. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. Although there is a very good cameo by Bill Murray. It's not that long, but you know, it's funny. I liked it. And yeah, you know, what are you gonna do? Missed it by that much. Thank you. Date Night, cute little movie. Didn't mind it. I love Tina Fey. So you got a guy who absolutely cannot do a Greek accent. He's had 2 tries at it, failed horribly both times. Teaming up with a real Greek woman. So there you go. It came out on my birthday. There you go. Anyways, cute little movie. You know, some good little cameos in it. Nothing like, you know, whoa, holy shit. But again, nice little date movie. So you got Dan in Real Life, and I gave you Date Night. There you go. Both start with D's. You know, you can, you know, put them in order. Whatever. It's up to you. But good little movie. And then came Despicable Me. Does the voice of Gru. I'm going to be honest with you, I've never seen any of these movies. So, but I mean, they made enough of them. I think they made like 4 or 5 of them. So, you know, I keep that money train going. Then they did Despicable Me, the video game, of course. You have a hit movie, you got to have a hit video game for sure. One interesting fact I did find out about this is that how did you get the voice for this? Because we all know at this point Steve Carell is really good at accents. It says it's best described as a high-pitched Russian guy trying to imitate Ricky Ricardo. You know what? If the check clears, fuck it. Who cares? Then he did something called Todos Contra One. The fuck is this? Hold on. I got a pretty good rating, actually, this show. 8.5 out of 10. I've never heard of this. But maybe made a quick cameo or something? I don't know. All right, well, there you go. Dinner for Schmucks. Yeah, didn't like this one. I think it was a remake of another movie as well. Great cast of people, just, I don't know, fell flat. I wasn't feeling it. Yeah, sorry. Then he did a bunch of stuff on Saturday Night Live. We talked about that before. You know, I know for a long time he did the voice of one of the dudes on Ambiguously Gay Duo. I did not know that. Him and I think it was Stephen Colbert that did the other voice, right? Yeah. So, and yeah, there you go. Crazy Stupid Love. He played a character named Cal. I heard something he made like $15 million on this movie. I don't know if that's true, but if he did, holy shit, all the power to you. Office who? No, I'm just kidding. Do another Office, man. Just NBC. Just give him the money. Come on. Yeah, good little cast of people. You got Ryan Gosling here, Julianne Moore, Emma Stone, Marissa Tomei, John Carroll Lynch, Kevin Bacon, Josh Groban. Yeah, good little cast. It's one of those movies. I guess it's a date movie. I guess I don't know. It was a middle-aged husband's life changes dramatically when his wife asks him for a divorce. He seeks to rediscover his manhood with the help of a newfound friend, Jacob, learning to pick up girls at bars. There you go. So you got Ryan Gosling here, good old Canadian boy, trying to help a guy who cannot do a Greek accent. I cannot stress that enough. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to let this go. But yeah, just trying to help him out, trying to get laid, trying to, just get him back in the game, get his mojo back, whatever. I remember there was one funny scene where he sees him at the bar, and he sees Steve Carell drinking out of a cup with a straw, and I think Ryan says something like, yeah, don't drink out of a straw. It looks like you're sucking a cock or something. So, again, can you say that line today without getting in shit? I don't know. But who knows? I just did. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Cancel this. So, yeah, good little movie. Good cast of people. Check it out. Then he did another movie called, it's a TV series, Life's Too Short. He played himself. And Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. I remember seeing this movie poster downtown, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I don't know. And then I got a decent rating, 6.7 out of 10. Again, it's one of those ratings where you're like, I don't know, should I see it? I might like it. I may not like it. I don't know. We'll see. So, yeah, I never saw this one. It was an asteroid near Earth. A man finds himself alone after his wife leaves in a panic. He decides to take a road trip to reunite with his high school sweetheart. Accompanying him is a neighbor who inadvertently puts a wrench in his plans. Oh no. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like they got the dog from Something About Mary. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I can't see all the movies, guys. So this one's up to you. Then next thing he did, Despicable Me, Minion Mayhem 3D video short. Keep the money train going. Hope Springs. I don't know this movie. Meryl Streep, Tommy Lee Jones, Steve Carell. 6.3 out of 10. I don't know. Meryl Streep, man, I don't know. She pretty much kills in any role she does. So I don't know. I mean, how bad could it be? The Simpsons. God, it's a show I haven't watched in many years. But yeah, he was in that one. He played a character named Dan Gillick. Actually, what's weird is I was, again, this is just a side note. I watched Simpsons for years, and I don't know, ever since past season 11, 12, whatever, I just stopped watching. I was at a girl's house one time, and I was leaving, whatever, just getting dressed and whatever, because we were playing dress up, of course, and I just had the TV on the background, and she had The Simpsons playing, and one of the characters I knew from the voice was Steve Carell for sure, and I'm watching a little bit, and I'm like if I never heard of The Simpsons before, I would have thought the episode was based on that character, and each Simpson character was kind of just coming in as they please, and I don't know what happened to The Simpsons. I mean, I'm gonna have to talk about that in a future podcast, but I don't know. It just, stick to the first 10 seasons. Watch 2 to 5, especially because Conan O'Brien wrote those. That guy's a fucking genius. So, he just ended his show recently. All the best to him in the future. Yeah, so there you go. The Way Back. I remember this movie. Yeah, this is it was a cute little movie. It was all right. It's one of those movies. It's got somebody that you've never heard of before, but it's got a good little cast of characters. It's a cute little movie. I don't know. What does it say? Shy 14-year-old Duncan goes on summer vacation with his mother, her overbearing boyfriend, who Steve Carell plays. I remember. He played he was kind of a prick in this one. And her boyfriend's daughter having a rough time fitting in. Duncan finds an unexpected friend in Owen, manager of the Water Park. Was it Sam Rockwell? Yeah, hey, he kicks ass in everything he does. A good little cast of people. I saw this one documentary about a water park that was, man, this water park was fucked. I forgot what it was called. It was some weird one in the States, and I don't know, like people would die there, and it's a whole thing. I don't know. I'm just throwing that in there for a bonus, but I forgot what it was called. Came out a few years ago. But anyways, this is a cute little movie. Nothing spectacular, but it's all right. The Incredible Burt Wonderstone. Holy fuck, this movie's a piece of shit. I'm not gonna. This is one of James Gandolfini's rest in peace. One of his last movies, and fuck, man, I'm sorry to hear that. You got Steve Carell in there. You got Jim Carrey. You got Steve Buscemi. This movie was bad, man. This was just, it was supposed to be a comedy, I guess, and it just, every fucking joke just didn't land, and they gotta stop making movies with magicians, just stop. Just please stop, okay, you want to make more Terminator movies and Jurassic Park, fine, whatever, that's your call, I guess, but, can we, again, stop with the magician shit, Okay, we had that TV show on Fox years back that the guy gave away all the secrets, whatever. He was masked. Okay, that was like the peak of it. Penn and Teller still kick ass. I always say if I go to Las Vegas one day, I'm definitely gonna check those guys out. Those guys are legends. I love those guys. But just stop making the movies. It's pointless at this point, guys. Just stop it. Stop it. Despicable Me 2. Mo Money. Despicable Me 2, the music in the film, Mo Money. Web Therapy TV series, never heard of that one. Pharrell Williams, Happy. He was a dancer, he was uncredited. Huh. I don't remember him in that, but that was, oof. Yeah, that's right. That song, see, what's funny about that song is originally it came out in the summer with the movie, and then they brought it to Blu-ray, and they made a video for it months later in November, and that's when the song exploded. So, I don't know what to tell you guys. Leave it up to white people to, find all this shit later on and finally catch on. I get it. So, Pharrell, I'm sorry, man. I love you. The Neptunes kick ass. NERD, In Search of, the first album. Not so much the remix album, although I did like that one, but the first one, classic shit. Yeah. Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues. So, obviously we were waiting forever for a second one to come out. And the first time I saw this movie, I'm not going to lie, I didn't like it as much. Maybe because I'm so stuck on the first one, but the second one, I watched it again the second time, a little while later, and I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Is it as good as the first one? Fuck no. Of course, you're not going to top the first one. They even said they're not going to make a third one. The cameos in that second brawl in this one is absolutely crazy. I feel the funniest parts in this movie, actually, I'm not just saying that because I'm doing a Steve Carell podcast now, but between him and Kristen Wiig, who I love, she's awesome. Just the back and forth they do, It's really well done. And like, like how many people can say their first date was in a laundromat, next to a pop machine, granny panties, whatever. The point is, this is a really good one. Again, not as good as the first one, obviously, but I still like it. So if you like the first Anchorman, you should like the second one. But don't expect the third one. Panic in the Mailroom. It's a shorty did. Neighbors. TV news. Steve Carell was in this? No. He said he was uncredited, so... I don't remember him in that movie. Okay, cool. Foxcatcher. Okay, this came out in 2014. This movie, I mean, yeah. Again, it's a perfect example. I've always said this, a lot of, comedians, comic actors, they don't get their props. They don't get a right role, like a dramatic role, because they think, people can't pull it off. They see him in The Office, and they're like, I can't do this. But, Steve Carell was awesome in this. Nominated too. I don't think he won for Best Actor, but yeah, definitely well-deserved nomination. But man, he was fucking creepy as shit. This is actually based on the true story. U.S. Olympic wrestling champions and brothers Mark Schultz and Dave Schultz joined Team Foxcatcher, led by the eccentric multimillionaire John DuPont, which is Steve Carell's character, as they train for the 1988 Olympic Games in Seoul, South Korea. But John's self-destruction behavior threatens to consume them all. Yeah, that's one nice way of putting it. This guy's just a fucking jerk off. It's kind of implied. There's one scene I remember specifically. I definitely can't get it out of my head. Like he had first of all, I want to give Channing Tatum props as well, because Channing Tatum, he's always known as like kind of a pretty boy, and no one ever thought of him as like kind of a serious actor, whatever. He's great in this. Mark Ruffalo is awesome in this. Mark Ruffalo's great in whatever he does. But Hulkster and but there's one scene specifically I remember. Like the whole point is like Steve Carell's character as John DuPont, he just controls Mark Schultz, Channing Tatum's character. And there's one point where like they're on the his deck, whatever. I said deck, and he's on. He's just sitting in a chair, and they're all like. Mark is definitely coked up, and he's just naked in his underwear, and he's just like jumping around like he's his private dog, and Steve Carell's just sitting there like, it's just really fucking disturbing, like the whole movie, and like the way he controls him, and a lot of what Channing Tatum's character has to go through to train, and a lot of times he fucks up, and Steve Carell is just there, kind of just, he's just treating him like shit the whole time, and eventually he gets what's coming to him at the end there, and yeah, that ending is fucked. And apparently what I found out is the ending, I don't want to give a lot away, but it didn't last just a few hours. It lasted actually a couple days in real life, that whole scene there. And it's a disturbing movie, but it's a good movie. It's, you see what a lot of these athletes go through, and, the price to basically have like a sponsor and to make a team, and, to be an Olympian, and, it's a great performance by Steve Carell. It's something that really came out of nowhere, honestly. So but I'm glad, because like I said, a lot of comedic actors do not get the chance to do a role like this, and he did really well. So great job by Steve Carell for sure. Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. That is a awesome title. Judging by the ranking for not so good movie. Jennifer Gardner, I don't know, she's cool. I don't know what, it looks like a family that gets into a whole bunch of disasters and shit, and Dick Van Dyke makes an appearance. All right. Always like that guy. It's something to do with him and a kangaroo. I don't know. I'm not going to see this. I don't know. I don't care. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, the Ragtime Gals. Okay, well, part of the whole NBC family at one point. Yeah, got a chance to be on the Tonight Show. Why not do it? 9 Kisses is a short he did. Minions, Young Gru. I did the voice. Again, just keep it going. Keep it going. Free Held. I don't know what this is. Free Held. I don't know. You got Michael Shannon in there, so that guy's an interesting guy, man. I got to do a podcast about him one day, but very few people make me laugh, but scare the shit out of me at the same time. So, Julianne Moore, Elliot Page. I don't know. I've never seen this movie. I've never heard of it, to be honest with you. So, 6.6 out of 10. Again, it's one of those ratings where, you know what, guys, you take a chance. You might like it, you might hate it. Big Short. Very good movie. Crazy cast. You got Christian Bale, Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, Brad Pitt. You got director Adam McKay, who's awesome. Look up his stuff. He's also a fellow guy that went to Second City. Very funny dude. I don't know if I mentioned this before. I got the Second City book one time, and there's a picture. The only picture I could find in the book, and he had glasses on, and he looks like he's like arguing with a parrot or a crow or something. He looks funny. So that guy's a good dude, man. But yeah, this is a very good movie. A lot of people always talk about, I think it's the Jenga scene. Yeah. So again, I don't want to give a lot away about this movie because a couple twists and turns and all that. And of course, Christian Bale kills it in everything. This guy, Christian Bale has got to be one of the best actors of all time, period. I mean, you can say, what you want about him and his antics, whatever. But this guy, when he puts himself in a role, he is just possessed. I mean, yeah, but great cast of people, good little movie. When you got the chance, check it out. Cafe Society. I think it's a Woody Allen movie. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I remember this movie. Yeah, this movie was all right. Yeah, I liked it. How many movies has Woody Allen done? Holy fuck. I mean, this guy just, when does this guy sleep? Yeah. There's the joke there. Okay, whatever. I'm not touching it. The point is, yeah, I remember this movie. Good little movie. Again, one of those ratings, 6.6 out of 10. You be the judge. Despicable Me 3. Listen, they're going to make fucking 10 of these movies. Just keep going. Who cares? Battle of the Sexes. Good little movie. I like this movie. I always wanted to know more about the story. It's based on the true story of 1973 tennis match between world number 1 Billie Jean King and ex-champ and serial hustler Bobby Riggs. Emma Stone did a great job in this movie. I always wanted to know this whole story. Like, basically back then, it was, people gave a lot of shit. Oh, a woman can't beat a guy in tennis. Oh, yes, they can. But anyways, but yeah, I thought it was done pretty well. I remember Steve Carell's character had a horrible gambling problem in this. He said he wins most of the times, which is something that a horrible gambler will always say. But very good movie. Check this out. Last Flag Flying. Yes, I remember this movie. This movie did not get a lot of attention, but a good little movie. Bryan Cranston, Steve Carell, and Lawrence Fishburne. 30 years after they served together in Vietnam, a former Navy corpsman, Larry Doc Shepard, reunites with his old buddies, former Marines Sal Nealon and Reverend Richard Mueller, to bury his son, a young Marine killed in the Iraq War. Good little movie. Nothing spectacular, nothing, it's one of those movies where, it's, probably a lot of people never heard of this movie. Like, even when it first came out, I was like, it was here and there very quick. But a little, cute little movie. I liked it. Bryan Cranston, always liked seeing him and stuff, seeing him with Lawrence Fishburne, Steve Carell was great in it too. Nice little cast of people. I liked it. So, got a chance, check it out. Beautiful Boy. Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah, it's a good little movie too. Very emotional at times. Very, Yeah, it has that kid that. Oh no, it's not. Oh no, 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 no! It is the same kid that's in Dune. That's right. Yeah, 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 yeah. What was his name? Timothy Chalamet. Did I say that right? Yeah. Uh, Good little movie. You know, it's based on this best-selling pair of memoirs from father and son David and Nick Sheaf. Beautiful Boy chronicles the heartbreaking and inspiring experience of survival, relapse, and recovery in a family coping with addiction over many years. Good little movie. I mean, it's sad in parts. You know, obviously, if you're gonna have any movie with addiction, it's gonna be sad. But good little movie. If you're sensitive, you might have to have a box of tissues with you. But just just saying. Then he was in a movie called Vice, another Adam McKay movie. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Again, you got Christian Bale in there playing Dick Cheney. Amy Adams playing Lynn Cheney. Steve Carell playing Donald Rumsfeld. Sam Rockwell playing George W. Bush. It's... I mean, just saying that out loud is funny, but at the same time, like, you watch the movie and you're like, oh shit, this is great. Like, it's making fun of itself and all that. But then again, I got to give props to Christian Bale, man. This guy's fucking awesome. Whatever the fuck he does. Yeah, obviously it tackles the whole story of Dick Cheney and, him dealing, being vice president. And, yeah, so, like I said, check it out. It's a good movie. I mean, a lot of it, like, we know what happens. Obviously, it's based on his real life. But yeah, definitely check it out. Welcome to Marwin. Sorry. Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember this. I tried watching this movie, and this, like, even looking at the movie poster, you're like, what the fuck? And then, yeah, it didn't. I don't know. I wasn't really feeling the story. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry, but it just, I don't know. It wasn't. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. Threat Level Midnight, the movie, was a TV short he did. And this is the movie from The Office. Yeah, I'm getting tired, guys. I'm sorry, I can't remember everything. Okay, but the rating is 9.7 out of 10, which again is, it's just complete bullshit. But like, again, it's, it's a stupid movie they made in The Office. Whatever. I can't believe they actually put this up, but. Yeah, but again, it really just shows like how big of a fan base they got for The Office. And yeah, so I mean, you just watch the episode I recommended you. I mean, there's just a few moments here and there. They go in the room, eat popcorn, and then at one point they don't want Michael showing the movie anymore. He gets offended because people they're laughing at him instead of with him, and obviously they are, and they have every right to, by the way. How we managed that office for so many years, I have no idea. But yeah. By the way, as a side note, I forgot to mention this when doing the Office thing. I mean, that diploma he has in the background. I mean, that's not real, is it? I mean, it looks like a fucking print. Like, I get it, it's for the show and it's a prop, but I mean, it's still, that's not real, is it? Right? I mean, it can't be. I mean, we've all, we've heard Michael talk over the years, right? I mean, the point is, check out the movie, or better yet, check out the show, whatever floats your boat. Michael Scarn, yeah, real original. Sorry. I'm not sorry, that's funny. Michael Scott, Scarn, yeah, I get it. Then he's doing a TV series called Space Force. I think this is on Netflix. Yeah, again, it's got a decent rating, I guess 6.7 out of 10. I haven't watched the show yet. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's good or not, so I don't know. Let me know, guys. Thanks. Irresistible plays the character Gary Zimmer. Yeah, I think I tried watching this one. I couldn't get into this one either, yeah. And again, I love Jon Stewart, don't get me wrong. He wrote it, directed it. was okay. It had its moments, but you know, again, it's cool just to see these two guys, you know, work together after all these years. So why not? The Greatest Gift, a video short. He plays Santa Claus. I don't know what this is. What is this? Well, he plays Santa, obviously. I don't know. Where can I find this? I don't know. Well, it's funny. There's a scene here where it shows like everybody in like a Zoom conference call. So, yeah, you know, let's hope this year's Christmas will be more, let's just say outgoing. I mean, I doubt it, but I don't know. 2030, I don't know. It should be all over. But anyways, the morning show, I mentioned this in my Jennifer Aniston podcast. I just saw a little bit of the show. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. I should download season 1 from, I don't know, wherever it's from, Apple TV, I think. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. People put up shit on YouTube. Again, what are you going to do? But yeah, it's got a pretty good rating. It was 8.4 out of 10. Not bad. You know, at this point, Apple TV's got to compete with Netflix. So, yeah, they can't afford to put out shit. So, yeah, I'll check this out. Yeah, he's been working on that since 2019, 2021. There you go. And he's got a couple things upcoming, which is Minions, The Rise of Gru. So, again, this is... I mean, he's got to be making a nice little paycheck off these movies, so that's pretty awesome. And he's going to be in a TV series called The Patient, and it's in pre-production. Sorry, I forgot to mention the Minions coming out 2022. Parents, be ready. And what was I say here? The Patient, a psychotherapist who recently lost his wife, finds himself held prisoner by a serial killer with an unusual request to curb his homicidal urges. Okay, so it's like Dexter 2.0. Okay, fair enough. All right. So far they only got Steve Carell as Alexander Stratus. Okay, so will he be the therapist? Will he be the killer? I don't know. I can't see Steve Carell being the killer. No offense. I mean, it could happen. I don't know. You know, we didn't see that coming in Foxcatcher, where he was a big prick. But hey, you know, who knows? Let's see what happens. My money, I got $20. He's going to be the therapist, but we'll see. I don't know. You know, I don't know. Maybe Steve Carell could pull like a John Lithgow, because John Lithgow, I don't know, like he's a funny dude, but then like he plays the best villains all the time, like in Dexter. What's a movie he did with John Travolta? Shit, I forgot. Blowout. And Cliffhanger. I don't know. He's you know, so maybe he can put the spin on it. Who knows? But like I said, I mean, Steve Carell's got nothing else to prove in his career. I mean, he's already been in a classic TV show. Done. He's been in some awesome movies. Done. I mean, I don't know. And now he's just riding the train, you know, which is great. And I don't know, it doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. The new TV show seems to be doing well, you know, on Apple TV there. So, yeah, there you go. Again, he's a very nice guy. I've been told that, you know, with Steve Carell. So it's good to see that, you know. And like I said before, when I went to Second City, it was cool to find out that he was not only, you know, going there, but like he became a teacher later on. Because that's what happens with a lot of people there. You know, they perform on stage and later on they get hired as teachers. And yeah, it's really cool to see that, you know. So what else is there to say? I mean, really, you know, I mean, you know, do you think Rick Gervais holds a grudge?
No, comedy is a place where the mind goes to tickle itself. That's what she said. Oh, that's good.
I guess not. And it was funny too how like he just hugged him at the end there and just, you know, thank you for understanding me, you know. I think that was the whole point of Michael Scott's character, is that he was a funny guy. He just wanted to belong, you know. And I think that's why the show was so popular, because, I mean, he's a really funny guy. He's whacked out. He has to have his way, and he likes to be in control and have fun. But I think in the end, he's just a guy that just is looking for a little love, a little support from his family and friends and his fellow coworkers. And I think that's what makes the character so lovable. And The Office such a great show. So, I mean, that'll for sure be his biggest legacy. I mean, I would think. I mean, who knows what's going to happen to Steve Carell in the future. But again, the guy's a really nice guy. Said it before, I'll say it again. If you're a nice person in this business, you will do well. Okay? Plain and simple. So I'd like to thank Steve Carell for all the years of comedy, and especially The Office and 40-Year-Old Virgin and Creep Me Out and Foxcatcher. Jesus Christ. What I'm not going to thank you for is, again, one more time, is the whole Greek accent or any accent you've pretty much done so far in your career. That's the only thing I would work on, Steve. Mr. Carell, just, I'll tell you what, worst case scenario, if you're ever in Toronto, go to Danforth, you're going to pass by a couple shops, go by Logan there where the fountain is, okay? Hang out there for a while, okay? And just listen to the people talk, okay? You're going to find that, one, we all don't wear blue. And two, you don't have to try so hard to make the voice, okay? You just have to talk like this. Sometimes when you pronounce things, you do what do you do? You don't have it what's it called? The bell. Make sure that everything comes in order. Okay. You don't have to fucking yell all the time. Okay. We like to keep calm. Okay. Malakias. Okay. We keep calm. Relax. Take it easy. That's it. That's it. Okay. Come on. That's it. Scene. Question. Can Michael Scott actually do a decent accent? Answer. God only knows.
Is there a God? If not, what are all these churches for? And who is Jesus's dad?
Wow. I can't believe that came out of your mouth. That's what she said. Thank you very much, Michael Scott, aka Steve Carell.